Will graduate this year. I'm not here to speak on my son's behalf. He will never play for another basketball team here at Watchung Hills. But I must say, the first game we ever saw, I went to a high school basketball game to saw Watchung Hills play with my son, was actually the last speaker. He hit a game-winning three against Bridgewater against Immaculata to win the county championship. My son was about third or fourth grade at that time, went crazy, the crowd was going. He says, that's where I want to play. He was a player. Over the years, other things, he's an okay player. He started this year for the varsity basketball team. But over the 25 years of my coaching, the last two have been the roughest. And I didn't even have a team. There's one boy here tonight who, after his freshman year, maybe the most gifted athlete that this school has seen in a while, said, I cannot play for that program. And he wound up going to another sport here in Watchung Hills. A friend of my son's actually transferred to Boundbrook because he was not going to get a fair deal here. Imagine going from Watchung to Boundbrook. So he had an opportunity to play. There's other students who have not ingratiated with the program. They do not want to play at the way it is now. The mind games, it's amazing when you look at Watchung Hills, it says the men's basketball team. Any other place, it says the boys basketball team. College is men's, high school is boys. These are tall, 6 foot, whatever they happen to be, they're boys. The mental anguish, the games that went on with these kids' heads was remarkable. I've had more boys, 17 years old, crying on my shoulder this year than I can tell you. I don't know why he did that to me. I don't understand. I brought it up to the athletic director. It's not for my son, it's for the next generation. I wish somebody would have came forward 3-4 years ago and said something. To see these boys not wanting to play for the program is ridiculous, but I understand where they're coming from. There's hundreds of coaches out there. Last year for the JV team, they were undersized. The tallest kid on the team was 5'11" at the time. They won the championship. They would dive through a wall for the coach. This year, when I hear statements like, he's not going to take my senior year away from me, I will not put up with that. I've played basketball for 12, 14 years of my life. I will not let him take it away. The amount of boys who have quit the team is, I've never heard that. I would never allow my son to quit, and he said he will not take the senior year away. For after games, for a janitor to come up and say to you, a custodian, excuse me, I don't understand. Why didn't that kid play? The last game of the season, 2 seniors who had started all year were not allowed, they didn't start the game. No explanation. They didn't miss a practice. They didn't miss anything. They were not allowed. The head games, the mind games that were going on, it is not fair. I don't disagree with what Mr. Ross said. At that time, it was a different program. But right now, I can get into the X's and O's and why we lost this year. When you have a team until the last week of the season, or last 2 weeks of the season, didn't have anybody over 6'2", playing the way, I don't want to get into the X's and O's, but if you want, I will. But it is absolutely ridiculous that kids will transfer out of Watchung Hills because of the program. I understand that other schools, if you have a kid who's a phenomenal football player, maybe they're going to go play for this town. If he's great in baseball, he goes for another. We had opportunities to go to Pingree and Gill or whatever it had to be, but he wanted to play here. So it's not about my son, but it is not fair for the mental anguish that these boys went through. And it's not 2 or 3 parents coming up to me and saying, my kid doesn't know what to do. He's afraid to shoot the ball. Can you go talk to him? And I would go and talk to him. Other boys crying on your shoulder. It is not fair. Now, if I got judged every time I didn't have a great basketball season, I wouldn't have coached for 25 years. We probably would have been 2 and I'm out. It's not about winning. But the great memories that Mr. Ross had is not shared by the seniors this year. They banded together against the coach because they didn't want that opportunity. They still had their moments. They'll all go when they're 30, 40, my age, 50 years old. I'll remember when I hit this shot or that shot. There's talent here. There's going to be a 1,000-point score on the boys' side this year. There was a 1,000-point score on the girls' side. Between football and basketball, they're the most sports that most fans come to. There was nobody in the stands. A few games, they made it into something, and we would have it. The senior night was a night. They had a special night for Coach Cruz, the first game of the season. It was great. It was electric. Those are the moments you want for your kids growing up. It's not about winning and losing, very few times. But when a kid comes home, or the parent calls me up and says, my son is going to quit, can you talk to him? Because they knew that I coached. It's not 2 or 3 kids, it's 4 or 5 kids. And those are just the kids who have called me. So, Coach has good attributes. He is very prepared. He does certain things well. But I don't know where he lost the mindset that these are boys. They are not men. If you have to bench a kid, tell him why. Don't let him sit there for no reason and wonder about it. It is not fair to see a 17-year-old kid lose his composure and want to quit a team. It's not about my son, it's about the next generation. I wish somebody would have stepped up years ago. Thank you.